the creative juice is out. You feel me? And so, but having her, having Diesel, having everybody, it was just so easy. So everybody, it was just flowing. And I was like, wait, what are we supposed to shoot this another day? And it just worked perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody played their part. I can't forget my boy, Lucius.
Yes. Yeah.
Tobias. Oh my gosh.
Did you ever apologize to Marion for slaughtering her coven?
I did not.
The thirst doesn't end with the credits. I'm Omegia Keeys, and this is Donors After Dark. Warning, there are spoilers ahead, but first, here's the recap.
Previously on Donors.
Slaves, for just a bit more, would do anything to keep that small amount of power. Even oust their fellow slaves. Those who contemplated escaping captivity. If we match a common human with a donor, suddenly they're wealthy, not rich, but living better than they were. Why won't they rush to sign up?
Yes, all are welcome.
Are you serious? You're looking for another one?
It's been years and I got bills to pay.
Quit messing around with them. Lucius has summoned us.
In the meantime, get comfy.
Get comfy. Get comfy.
Welcome to another episode of Donors After Dark. I am your host, Omegia Keeys, the writer, director, producer, creator, whatever you want of the series. Whatever you want to be, whatever you want to call me of the series. And I have the wonderful couple from the series. I have Octavian and Nyla, otherwise known as Tanisha and Dante. Welcome to the episode.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right in. With the start of this episode, your man left you in the dust after he bang, bang, bang. Okay. Came back. You were looking extra dejected and sad. It was cute though. It was cute. How were you feeling?
Rejected for real. First of all, you took something from me that nobody ever had, and then I wake up and you're not there? How dare you? How dare you? I felt just like scum. Like, oh gosh, I felt like I was the old Nyla again. Unwanted, unloved, and he only came for one thing.
Meanwhile, you were over there riding the streets with your buddy, soaring, rolling, turning corners and stuff.
Because I had important matters to handle. And you, I'm not saying you're not important, I had other things to take care of so I can protect you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I had a bigger picture for me and you.
When we were filming, I know that those two scenes were not together. But you and Soren did so well when you were together away from her, like, because the way he was looking at you, like, man, something changed within you. And we didn't film them on the same day at all. Those were completely different days.
I saw that scene.
How did you feel in the car? Well, the vehicle, I forgot which vehicle we were in that day, but whatever. How did you feel that day having to replay what you already did?
It was just funny to me because I'm like, dang, I got to keep this straight face because I guess the smile's really real. So the funny thing is because, again, working with Tanisha was freaking awesome. So it's like thinking of the words or the dialogue that me and, Soren Diesel, who, just conversating with him and when he's mentioning Nyla, it's like, give a good smile. It's like, yo, we had fun. And now he's like, something's changed. And you're just like, damn, because you can see the real. Because again, when you got a good partner, bro, like that just is fucking awesome. It just makes it so easy Because again, I done been with some people that made it a little difficult. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know, no shades of people, but I done been with people who made it kind of difficult, not just on myself, but on other people. So when you bring stress, turmoil into a workplace, it throws the creative juices out. You feel me? And so, but having her, having Diesel, having everybody, it was just so easy. So everybody it was just flowing. And I was like, wait, what are we supposed to shoot this another day? And it just worked perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody played their part. I can't forget my boy, Lucius.
Yes. Yeah.
Tobias. Oh my gosh.
Everybody's awesome. I mean, Octavian's character is the glue to almost every character on this, because, you know, he's the head, he's the creator of the donors program. So you are tied to every single person in this. That is insane.
It is. And that's what made it difficult though, but that's what made it so easy, because everybody was so great at what they was doing. It was easy to connect to everybody. Because again, I'm attached to Lucius, which is played by Tobias, because he's my uncle. I'm attached to Nyla because this is my love interest. I'm attached to Diesel, who plays Soren. I'm attached to all these people. 6 because we have a backstory. Y'all don't know yet, but we have a backstory. So it's like I'm attached to everybody, but everybody brought it to where we connect at just a beautiful machine.
Chemistry was bananas.
Yes.
Yeah. But seeing that scene was hilarious. So like, yeah, Nyla changed your life.
Yeah, I mean, nothing but good stuff from that. But when he came back, y'all tore the room up.
Yeah, first time was, took it easy. It was easy. You slowed into it.
Had to introduce me to something new.
Yeah, and I didn't even give you the full thunder, but you got a little bit of the lightning. You didn't get the full, you know what I'm saying?
I can't.
I'm just saying, more to come, next season and all that.
Okay. So mostly, poor Nyla, she got to go working with you season 2, and then just between you and Heather, and you got to work with Soren as well, because he did show. Oh, hold up, he showed up to your job. He showed up to your job.
Diesel Matkins. I play Soren. I'm a bad dude. I'm the protector of Octavian. Kind of bodyguard, so to speak. There's no one older, there's no one stronger, there's no one better.
Showed up to my job, showed up to my place of business, just scaring folks. Didn't know who he was, and I'm like, what's happening?
But see, that's how much I wanted you. He even let you know
that y'all was. He did, but I didn't know this man. Why you coming up to my place of work with that head on and those eyes?
Yeah, but hold up, he didn't say from who either. He just showed up. He did show. Expect a visit tonight.
With that voice.
Okay. So hold up. In that moment, who do you think Nyla was thinking of when he was like, expect a visit tonight? And he was like, from who? And he just cut out.
And he just left. I'm like, okay. Nyla gonna have to get her pieces together. We're gonna have to figure out who's about to show up to my house and why you know where I live, and that's what I wanted to hold in that moment, like, why does he know where I live? And you gonna show up where, how, when, and with what, with who? And then just that whole scene, just the eeriness of it, the darkness of it, and the lighting on Diesel, it was actually kind of eerie for real.
That was supposed to be the point. You walking into the parking garage, which is why you stopped parking in the parking garage for later scenes, which is why you no longer parked in there because of that. But, we had to make it come together.
It came together. All right. It was amazing. But
so what was Nyla thinking after y'all tore the room up?
Oh. I wanted to know, so we tore the room up. Now where's this going now? Now what are we doing? And that's what I wanted to know.
And what was Tanisha thinking?
Tanisha was like, hey, I did a thing, I did a thing. We did something. I've never had this happen. What is it? And I got my wish. I got my vampire, I just knew.
Oh my God.
Was that awkward at all? It was awkward for me. It was so awkward for me. It was so awkward for me. Yeah.
It wasn't. I think in that moment it wasn't awkward because, like I said, it was just easy. He made it so easy to be able to work with him. There's not one time where I felt uncomfortable. And usually Tanisha, I'm like, I'm not dropping myself. I'm like, no, yeah. Let's cut the lights off first. But then, but because you made it so comfortable and so easy for me to work, I never felt uncomfortable in any of those moments. And even with the crew behind the camera, I don't know. I think I didn't feel any kind of discomfort or anything. And legs all out, the whole nine. He didn't.
Thigh bites.
And I bite right.
But not once did the crew make me feel like I was just, because usually, I've been on sets where it's like, yeah, can we do this without everybody? But this time.
But we always do try to have the least amount of people. Yes, like that is one thing we do try to have when it comes to those intimate moments. We do try to have, if you don't need to be there, you don't need to be, even when, I know you had to get makeup on your thigh, but it was like, put the makeup on and get gone.
Yes, now I'm saying, look, Wonder Woman, she's like, whoosh, come with the blanket.
Almost hurt herself coming in with a blanket.
You too, you as well. There were times like, okay, scene's over, and he would be like, hey, let me go ahead and hold this up for her. So, yeah, I mean.
Because again, I'm all for the art, I'm all for the creativity. And again, if you're uncomfortable, it's going to show, it's going to read. And again, I don't want you looking bad. This is your debut too, this is all of us. So if I look bad, you look bad, the production look bad. So if I can find any way to keep you comfortable, to keep you in the right state of mind while we filming, because again, these cameras pick up everything.
I mean, every expression, every moment, and that's why it's so important to. I'm glad we just had the chemistry that we do have, and that we had on set, and that we had the crew that we worked with to make it feel. We were able to just be honest, be artists, and go in and do our job, do what we do.
Yes.
Speaking of the blankets, though, there are have you been on those sets? Like I have been on sets where it's a whole strip club. Yes, we know it's a strip club, but when the cameras cut, they were not covering up these women afterwards, and it just was, for me, I mean, even though I was fully clothed, it was uncomfortable for me, like in those moments. So I think that's made it so more why I wanted to protect you even more.
Yes,
because that's crazy.
Yes, there was a moment as soon as camera cut. You see me and Kathy with the plate. We did have an episode where we had a slippage. We had a little slippage, and I just see Mimi fly across the thing.
Bruh, almost like hit her ribs and everything, and I was like, cause me, I turned my head and I picked up the cover. I was like, I don't.
When I say
but she got there so quick. Like I'm right there, and she moved faster than me. I'm like, yo. And she's like, "Ho!"
We was about to have a real moment. It was about to turn from R to X on us. So I had to get in there. But yeah, wardrobe malfunction. So
you did. Thank you too. We hurt ourselves, Lord.
I'm just thankful, to have people like y'all on the set. I'm glad that y'all were in there having y'all moment, getting it in. But while y'all were getting it in, there was a whole slaughter going on.
I need to go bring that up.
So, watching it, how did you feel about that? Because did you guys realize? I mean, I know you had the script, but did you realize what was happening while y'all was happening? What was happening on the rest of the world?
I did not.
No, and just in seeing it, I was like, oh my goodness, we're in here tearing up this room, and there is literally, people running all over the place, getting ate up.
And I'm like, do I feel bad? Not at this moment, I don't, but I know this high gonna leave, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna have this problem to deal with, because what are you gonna do, Octavian? What are you gonna? I'm like, dude, I just got done doing what I was doing what I do. I'm like, I was doing research.
Okay. But on that note, since we're talking about the slaughter, I'm gonna let y'all go, and I thank y'all for stepping by. We are back, and we have one of our fellow Armigers with us, Tramiel, number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah. Yeah, on episode 5.
Episode 5,
for number 5. But hold up, I also want to say this though, because I didn't say it before. A lot of people don't know this. You are Armiger, yes, but you also hear him throughout the series because you also have music.
Yeah.
In the episodes, yeah.
And actually, I can't tell you what I'm more excited about. If I'm more excited about the music or actually that I'm in there, my face, like you can actually see my face and everything. Like my kids is like, hey, there you walked in the room and like there's your name on the screen. They were real happy about it.
Yeah, but you were also in Fractured. You had FaceTime in Fractured.
Yeah, but I couldn't let my kids see that.
Oh well, you know, hey, that this is true. But that, let me say, when we first meet the Armigers, that walk in, how was it walking into the throne room? Y'all look so hardcore walking in. Like it is like that walk is everything.
For me, it was like a flashback to some undergrad activities. And so like when we, if you don't know, you know.
I know.
But I'm a Q. So we had a little process in undergrad. And so like as part of that process, we were kind of seen, not heard type of thing. We had numbers. We walked in an order. We walked in and everything had a certain order to it. So to me, it was kind of reminiscent of that. Just the solemnness of it, the seriousness of it. And we walked in and it's all about business. It's not playtime at that point. So it was just like almost like a flashback, and it was also something to draw back from in terms of the experience in and of itself.
But with everybody looking at y'all, like the room was full of extras. You walking up to the throne and everybody just was like, did you notice when you were walking the fear that they had on, how they were scurrying out y'all way? Did you catch that, or were you just so focused you didn't even notice?
I did see a movement, but I didn't see the full extent of it until the episode showed. And that's why I really was like, oh.
Well, how did you feel seeing it?
Man, it was crazy. It was great. It was surreal. Like, this is something that like most people just dream of. And to get a chance to work with you on top of all that, that was amazing.
Why?
Yes.
Why me?
Why you?
Yeah.
Why not you?
No, I want to know why. Like,
no, because I think it takes a creative to understand a creative. While you're in the visual space, I'm in the auditory space, right? But I think everybody can't really understand, and to some people it may seem a little bit out of touch and maybe a little bit crazy, but when you're creative, you just see the world a little bit differently. And so to be able to mesh with somebody on that level, even though two different types of mediums, but to be able to mesh with somebody on that level and just make such a good friendship on it afterwards too. That was just the greatest thing. It's like I found my village type of thing. Been wandering around for years. Like, I don't feel like I belong here. I don't feel like I belong here. Now I feel like I belong.
I mean, you were asleep for 75 years.
Yeah.
How did that play into you getting into things? Because you're coming out of hibernation, 75 years asleep. And then, Lucius decides to activate the Armigers. And
it was just go time. That's all it was. It was like, this is what I've been trained to do, and now I get to do it. So it was like, there was a lot of anticipation, excitement, but it was hidden behind a fierceness and like a little stern face.
Yeah, but the first thing you do after the walk-in is you go to Tatiana's Coven and you just start slicing and dicing. How was that?
That was actually excellent. Man, I mean, to like just see the fear in people's faces, to hear the screams of people, and to like just wipe out the room and be like, you know what? We're gonna let you and you live. But the rest of y'all got to go.
So you was all in today. Not you saying, oh, to hear the screams. Like, you acting like you was killing folks for real. You a serial killer? I don't know nothing about. Okay. Yeah, like that. How did you get in the moment to be? I mean, we got past the walk-in, but how did you get in the moment to be an Armiger? Or you know what I mean? Like that's a. So yeah, about you being in this character to actually be an Armiger, knowing, in this episode we got your backstory. y'all were tortured. Y'all were tortured basically up until you were adults to be an Armiger. How was that like? Because you know we see you with the Shuriken.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think at some point it makes you have an attitude about stuff. You know, like you got a chip on your shoulder. Like, you know, I don't like this and I'm dealing with it because I don't have a choice. But when I get my chance, some people gonna pay. And so I think that's what that situation or that time period did for me and all of us, especially. Like, somebody got to pay for this. We didn't sign up for this. We don't like this. So you're going to get it and you're going to get it.
So you taking out that anger from being tortured by the Shuriken and you taking it out on everybody that they unleash you on.
If they let us do it, we going to get it.
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it. So y'all just out there, you know, slicing, dicing.
Yeah,
Beheading folks.
On command, on site. If you want it, you got it.
Okay, silent but deadly though.
Exactly.
So how was it? Because we see y'all a lot. Even, you know, once you're unleashed, we see y'all hanging out in the throne. I shouldn't call it hanging out because y'all really not hanging out in the throne room. Y'all just there on waiting for a command, like to go at it's go time. What is it like having a character, you know, in season 1, because we're just getting to know you guys? How did you deliver so strong without having lines?
Part of it was that as a group, we had a tendency to stay away from people. So while other things were going on, the rest of the characters that were Armigers, we stayed away. So it was just us. So we were just used to interacting with us. So in a sense, it felt weird not being with each other at some points in time. And we would, like, as a crew, we played around with each other. We would, like, secretly cut each other with weapons while another person wasn't looking. So we built a little brotherhood in terms of all that. So we just kind of used that method. We stayed away, and so our confidence was each other.
Not y'all play fighting away from the set. That is hilarious.
Yes.
But how was it? I mean, what was the dynamics like working with it? Because, you know, rarely do you see where there's a group, like y'all are one unit, like y'all are literally one person divided among, you know, if you think about it, when we say the Armigers, we're not talking about one person. We're talking about all of y'all, like, to be defined as that, as like, you know, for me, okay, I pulled it because, you know, I love Star Trek, Star Wars, all that. So when I think of the Armigers, I think of the Borg from Star Trek. So what is it like being with this hive mind? And like, I don't know if I put it in the books or something, but it's like y'all are linked telepathically too.
Right. So that's the thing. So like, together is where we're strongest. Like, we just don't really exist without each other. Even, like I said, whether it was on set or in the film, we're always together. If anything, we spread apart just for a little bit, because I was in one room, Six was in one room, another Armiger was in that same room, but others were in another room, but not very far away, and we quickly came back together in the unit as we started.
One of my favorite scenes with you guys is when you're in the throne room and Lucius says, Armigers, and y'all just all pop up like at the exact same time.
And you know, the funny thing about that is his voice is so big. Even though I knew he was going to say it, his voice made me jump up either way it was going to go. He still startled me every single time he did it. Every single time. And I'm like, I know it's coming. And he still got me. But, you know, so his voice was commanding enough that it was just automatic. So that was the easy part, actually.
Did you ever apologize to Marion for slaughtering her coven?
I did not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why would I do that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I would have hoped you did, because, you know, she took it pretty hard, you know, as Marion,
right,
not as Tatiana. As Tatiana don't give a name, but y'all did wreak mayhem on her entire coven. As
we were supposed to do, as we were designed to do, as we were trained to do. We just followed orders, that's all. Simple.
Yeah, you had a little bit of too much fun with that. So,
we had a great fun.
As an Armiger, what is your favorite moment in the series for you?
Ooh.
It don't have to necessarily be with as an Armiger, but watching, now that you've watched the series.
But you know, I don't know which episode it was, but I remember watching Dante, and I'm looking and I'm watching how he just communicated so much just with this part of his face. You know I have a tendency to talk sometimes with my hands a lot or my head moves a lot when I'm talking, but just to see that he was able to just communicate so much with just his eyes, the way he cut his eyes, the way he stared, made me dip his head just a little bit. And I was like, man, that is awesome. And it was something to look forward to. Like, man, you gotta teach me that, because that was great. Like, for real. I went up to him like, man, did you see that? But that was probably one of my favorite parts. And the fight scenes. That was especially fun.
Now, I do have to mess with you because this episode, when we flash back to 1200 BC, and we're on the training field, and 1 and 2 are trying to kill each other. They're literally trying to kill each other, and you're slow.
Yeah, so that's called being smart. Because we looked over like, man, what are they doing? They man, okay. Y'all can have that. But it was just like, it was still fun though.
It still played to your, I feel like it played to your characters, because those two are a little more maniacal, because they're twins, but you're still part of a collective on top of being twins. So they gotta be a little crazy. They're like a little more crazy added to it from that.
And I think it also gives the character room to grow a little bit, because if you start out at 100, where do you go?
Right.
So to like see the progression, like, hey, we're waking up out of this sleep, we're training. Okay, so how acute are our senses at this point in comparison to the rest of the vampires?
Back then, you wasn't asleep yet. Y'all was still wide awake on the field, because it's 1200 BC. You hadn't been punished yet, you know. But I do feel like y'all probably been punished a few times. By this point, y'all still, I can see that that's like the normal for y'all when the Coven tires of y'all, go to sleep.
Yeah, and then watching Six's defiance in that moment, there had to be some other stuff going on outside of, just training. We had to be catching it somewhere.
Yeah, y'all was being beat down. Being beat down, tortured, and all that. Okay, so how do you think, what do you think at this time? Because the character was still human. When 6 broke out, when you were in there with the Shuriken, and 6, I call it her revenge, where she attacks him, but y'all are still trained up. How did you feel when she just cut out? Y'all still there.
First of all,
she cut out.
I was really upset about that. I'm like, how you just gonna leave us? How you just gonna leave us here? You know what we went through. What, you just dipping? Like, that's what we do now?
I feel like she was gonna come back though. I feel like she's the type that would have absolutely come back, but she had to get out to get away. But I feel like if she would have got away, I feel like she would have come back, and helped y'all.
Yeah, because she does seem like the type, but in the moment we don't know. We have no clue what's going on. We know you gone like, hey, us, where we, like, why are we not coming with you? But I get it because we did reunite, we did come back, and it's all good.
Yeah, come back and they turned y'all to vampires because she got turned. That was wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us for episode 5.
Well, thank you so much.
See you later.
You definitely will. All you gotta do is call, bellow, yell, email.